So what we have here is a new machine that we'll be using in the woodworking area. As you can see here, it's just a small wood lathe. We didn't buy the stand with it because we already have this stand here. So what we're going to do is attach the wood lathe to the stand. So this is a stand that we'll be using. It's one of the old Black & Decker workmates, and we find this quite stable and rigid. And what we're going to do is secure a base plate to this, and we're doing that by putting bolts up through here. But as you can see, the hole in here is 20mm. The bolts that we're using are 10mm. There'll be 3 bolt holes here used and 3 on the other side used. So what we've got here is a piece of 20mm marine ply. It's just a piece I had left over from a prior project that we did. And what we've done is made this 50mm wider than the width of the Black & Decker workmate, and we made it 50mm longer than the extreme length of the machine itself. The other thing that we've done is marked our positions. There's 1, 2, 3 here, as you can see, and 3 at the back. And we did that by just laying the base plate itself down on the ground. We just put the table on top of that, marked the positions, and then found the centre of the circles. So the first step that we're going to do is make some inserts for these holes that are already pre-drilled into the Black & Decker workmate. And as you can see, we've got a lot of room to play with. So what we're going to do is put an insert to fit these holes, and we'll center drill those with a 10mm hole, which will be the size for the bolts to fit through. So what we're going to do here is use some acetal. Now this is 30mm in diameter, so we're not changing the diameter. We just need to cut it off to length, and then we'll be able to machine that down to the sizes we need. Now we're going to cut that to a length of 55mm, and we've kind of measured that and just checked it off. Doesn't have to be super exact. Alright, so what we'll do now is just set the lathe up. The first thing I'm going to do is just face off this end, and I'll turn around and face off the other end. So come in. I got the lathe running at about 560 beats per minute. Just cuts off. Race that end off, and then we'll turn it around and take the other end off. So what we're going to do now is put a centre drill through and just put our 10mm hole in. So I'll just put the chuck into the tailstock, move the tailstock up a bit, and I'll just get a drill. The first thing, we'll just put the centre hole in, and then we'll just punch this drill straight through this piece of stock. Get this out of the way. Drilling. Tighten it down. This small lathe can only travel on the tailstock about 40mm, and then you run out of travel, so just got to keep an eye on how far we go in. Before we go any further, we just want to check that the bolt fits, and as you can see there, it's just a nice fit with only very small play, and that's what we want. So I'm just basically measuring 18mm from the tip of the right cutter to the end of the, just come in a little bit more, and that's about 18mm there. So what we'll do now is lock that off. I'm just going to put the stop in and lock that in, and I've got that set up, and we're on 18mm. So what we've got to do now is we've got a 30mm diameter here. The actual hole it's fitting into is 20mm, so we basically have to take off 10mm, which is 5mm per side. So we've done a few cuts now. I'm just going to do a check. We should be getting somewhere near the point, and we're reading 22.5mm. And we're on 20.5. And we've got 0.2 of a mil, so we'll just take that off. So what we'll do now, we'll cut this to exactly 20mm. We've measured the holes to be 20mm, so we just want to make sure that that fits in there. And it'll actually be coming up from that way, and as you can see it's just below the surface, so we can probably actually come in another mil, but it won't really matter because I want it to be right below this surface here. Alright, so what we'll do now is turn it around, use that do the same side, same on the other side. Just make sure the stopper's still at 80mm. It's a bit longer, so we'll have to adjust the stop. Just get a touch off. So we're just going to put the cut-off tool on. We've done some measurements for the height. I'm going to keep it as close as we can to 10mm, so it'll probably be about 9mm or thereabouts. So we just really need to cut this about in the middle for this particular one. So that's 19mm. Now the parting blade is 2mm wide, so we've got that set up. So we'll just lock down like the carriage. So the speed we're running at the moment is about 500 odd. So we want to go about BC1. So loosen off there. We adjust our belt to, we're going to put it on the lowest setting, see how we go. You can always move it up, so put the tension back on. And that should give us around about 100 odd reverse per minute. We'll see how that cuts in the plastic. That seems to be cutting all right, so you can see there, I'm kind of stopping every